Natalia Nagovitsina. You may never have heard her name, but her story is one that cuts straight to the heart of what mountaineers know all too well. When you reach for heights, sometimes the ground you leave behind calls you back in tragedy. This is her story, part confirmed, part whispered, all unforgettable. You are about to hear of long climbs, broken bones, rescue attempts, drone footage, harsh weather, and a passage into the unknown that many believe ended too soon. Natalia was born in the Perm region of Russia in a small town called Lisva. She was 47 in the summer of 2025. She grew up in quiet hardship, far from celebrities or fame. As a girl, she walked in the woods, climbed small hills, labored in winter cold. She found early that discomfort built strength. In her 20s, she discovered high-altitude climbing. She was not born to privilege. She forged herself on mountain slopes. Her husband, Sergei Nagovitsin, or Sergei in some reports, a fellow Russian climber, was part of her life and her early climbing practice. In 2021, they traveled together to Khan Tengri. There, high above 5,000 meters, some say around 6,800 meters, Sergei suffered a stroke. The mountain's thin air, the cold, maybe exhaustion. When rescue came, they tried to get Sergei down. Accounts differ, but it is reported that Natalia stayed by his side until the late hours, refusing to abandon him. He died or was left incapacitated. Records are not clear. This tragedy, some say, shaped Natalia's resolve. It is part fact. Multiple Russian climbing press note the event. But the exact details, how far she carried him, where they camped, what rescue was implemented, vary greatly between accounts. After his passing, Natalia did not retreat. She climbed again. She installed a memorial plaque at Khan Tengri in honor of Sergei. Some local sources reference her leading teams, practicing climbs, and building grit. Her reputation among Russian mountaineers became one of someone who carries grief into her ascents. Then comes the climb that would alter everything. In August of 2025, Natalia set out with a group to ascend Victory Peak, also known as Pik Pobeda or Pik Pobedy Jengish Chukusu, one of the most treacherous 7,000ers in the former Soviet geography, soaring above 40,000 feet elevation. Reports say that she and her companions summited, some say on the 12th of August. On descent, at around 7,100 to 7,200 meters, she suffered a broken leg. Some say the lower leg, some say both. The injury came after a fall triggered by unstable rock or ice. Reports conflict whether this was due to earlier fatigue or due to an undisclosed prior fracture. According to several local press sources, she had recently fractured one leg in a prior expedition, but it is unverified whether she disclosed this to her guide or to her climbing team. Her companions, Roman Makrinsky, or Roman Romanov in some versions, Luca Sinaigaglia, Italian climber, and Gunther Sigmo U, and name spelling varies, provided first aid. They set up a temporary camp. Reports say they left her with tents, supplies, gas canisters to keep warm. Some say food only enough for 2 days. Some claims say that Luca descended from higher camp to bring extra supplies. Others say attempts to bring a helicopter were made, but forced to land due to weather, or suffered mechanical or emergency failures. Then drone and satellite images enter the story. Several Russian and Kyrgyz media outlets report that a drone flew over the site and detected a tent with movement inside. Natalia reportedly was alive at least through that moment, but the weather turned foul. Snow began to fall. Winds howled, avalanche risk rose. Rescue teams reported that accessing her campsite directly was impossible due to risk to rescuers. The Ministry of Emergency Situations of Kyrgyzstan finally suspended active rescue operations. Thermal imaging and drone scans after storm clearing reportedly showed no signs of life. The official stance, according to statements, became that she was presumed dead. An Italian climber, Luca Sinigaglia, is reported to have died attempting to help her. Different sources disagree. Some say from frostbite, others say asphyxiation, some say exposure. A government helicopter mission also suffered an emergency. Reportedly, the pilot suffered a spinal fracture. Co-pilot had pelvic injuries after forced landing in rough terrain. But here is where rumor overshadows fact. Some local mountaineering blogs claim that Natalia had hidden the earlier leg fracture so she would not be denied entry into the Victory Peak expedition. If true, that would suggest she was climbing under compromised physical condition. Some even say that after the fall, she refused medical evacuation, saying she would rather stay until night fell or that she delayed signaling for help. None of those claims appear in official rescue logs. They are unverified, according to multiple Russian safety mountaineering sources. Other rumors whisper that in those critical hours she saw her companion tumbling, dragging her down. That Italian climber who tried to reach her, some say he perished partly because he was delayed by snow, or that he stayed too long with Natalia rather than returning earlier. Some media say that supplies left at the rescue camp were insufficient or misallocated. Others even say that Natalia made phone or radio call for extra help, but signal was poor. Some of these are exaggerated in social media and regional outlets. Treat them as rumor. What is verifiable? The rescue operation fielded by Kyrgyz authorities and international climbers. It was hampered by weather. It was suspended. Authorities stated that further attempts would be unsafe. She was declared presumed dead after no response was found. Her age was 47. She was from Lisva, Perm region. She had extensive climbing experience, including high mountains prior. Sergei's decline in Khan Tengri is recorded in multiple Russian reports. Luca Sinigaglia is cited in multiple outlets as a rescuer who died during the effort. You might ask, why did people believe some rumors? Because when you lack full visibility, when rescue is delayed, when access is denied by avalanche risk, when tent or gear remains are not recovered, people fill the gaps. They see the absence of proof as proof of absence. And worse, they begin to believe what gives emotional meaning. Let me pause here for a moment and ask, imagine you are Natalia. You are at over 23,000 feet, one leg broken, snow falling, wind blasting at your face. Darkness creeping in, supplies dwindling, you know rescue might not come until risk windows open. Do you stay or try to move? Many in her team reportedly urged dissent. Some said she was stubborn, others called it brave. It is one of the key questions of her story, and one that divides accounts. Some press pieces say that she refused dissent again and again until the weather was near untenable. Others say she repeatedly signaled she was in critical pain. Some say she asked to be left behind with supplies so others might get help. But again, the documentary record is murky, that she was left tented, alone, with minimal support for survival. Those are credible. That she walked down under her own power with severe injury, unverified. Days passed, storms raged, rescuers were grounded, avalanches threatened every ridge, thermal imaging turned up heat signatures, then later a cold void. Drones circled, cameras scanned, but the snow thickened. Finally, after perhaps 4 to 5 days, she was presumed dead. Official statements in Kyrgyzstan issued condolences. The organizing company, Aksai Travel in some reports, expressed sorrow to her family. Her son was mentioned in media reports as being informed. The government ministry said that retrieving her body would likely be impossible until spring, when snow melts and access improves. These confirmable claims make up the core of what is accepted in international mountaineering press. But for those who follow her story more closely, the mystery remains alive. Did she survive longer than reported? Did she ever utter a final radio plea? Was the broken leg truly the reason everything collapsed? Or did a minor omitted injury play a bigger role? Did rescuers have all the information they needed? Rumor says some gear was left at lower camps, some support was declined, some weather forecasts missed warnings, but none of that has been officially confirmed. What happens when rumors and facts blend is what makes stories like Natalia's both fascinating and heartbreaking. You, listening now, might wonder, is the mountain itself the culprit? Or are human decisions, pride, miscommunication, injury, more to blame? Natalia's story is not just about death. It is about persistence, loss, hazard, and the tension between ambition and survival. She was someone who carried the weight of previous tragedy, Sergei, into climbs that demanded total physical, mental, and moral clarity. In climbs of this nature, people say that mistakes, even small ones, compound at altitude. A fracture, or fatigue, or hidden injury, or poor weather forecast, they become exponentially dangerous. One wrong decision or delay, and what might have been a survivable situation becomes fatal. Her legacy, for those who believe she is gone, is that of a woman who would not stop climbing. A climber who chose the mountain over fear, who apparently refused to let injury pull her from summits. Perhaps the fact that no body was recovered, no final images captured, no definitive rescue successful, is what turns her into more than a climber. She becomes symbol, a phantom at the peak. A name whispered when storms howl and mountaineers break trail in deep snow. And so towards the end of her story, we face this. What do we mean when we say presumed dead? What does a name mean when no grave exists, when what is left is ice, snow, wind, rumor? If you were her son or daughter, what would you hold on to? The image of her ascending, perhaps the knowledge that she died trying, perhaps the faint hope that she lasted longer than announcements say. Some say her spirit lives in each drone flight, in each search party that crosses the ridge, in each small memorial placed by other climbers. This story ends without a clear resolution. But perhaps that is the point. Perhaps in Natalia's memory is both a warning and a fascination. That mountains demand respect. That ambition has limits. That we must remember not only those who reach peaks, but those whose trails never returned. You are left now with these questions. Did Natalia Nagovitsina concealed injury make things worse? Did rescue delays cost precious hours? Were rumors needed to fill silence? Did the mountain prevail, or did human pride contribute? Natalia Nagovitsina is more than a name. She is a mystery carried on snow, a testimony to what it costs to reach sky-high dreams, and a caution to those who chase summits. To remember her, we put together what we know, what we suspect, and what is left to believe. If you are listening tonight, as the wind howls and snow drifts above you, pause and think of Natalia. Her broken leg, the cold, the tent alone, the drone's scan, the silence that followed. Her name is Natalia Nagovitsina. May it never be forgotten